It always starts the same way, late at night. The room is quiet. Your phone is face down beside you. No television, no music, no people talking. And then suddenly, you hear something, a whisper, a ringing sound, a faint voice, maybe even your own name. You freeze instantly. Your eyes open wider. Your heart speeds up. Every muscle in your body becomes alert. And now your brain starts asking terrifying questions. Was that real? Did someone just say something? Am I imagining this? Am I losing my mind? Let me be clear. If this has happened to you, you are not alone. Millions of people experience sounds nobody else hears, but almost nobody talks about it openly. Why? Because the second people hear words like voices or hearing things, they panic. Here's the truth. Sometimes it's harmless. Sometimes it's stress. Sometimes it's exhaustion. And sometimes your brain is sending a warning signal you should never ignore. But nobody explains this properly. Instead, social media turns everything into fear. Every symptom becomes a disaster. Every strange experience becomes a diagnosis. And honestly, that fear is making people even worse. Because stress changes the brain. And the more afraid you become, the louder your nervous system gets. So in this video, we're going to talk about what's really happening. No fake motivation, no sugarcoating, no internet myths. Just the truth. Here's something most people never realize. Your brain is making noise all the time. Right now, your nervous system is processing. Background sounds, electrical signals, emotional reactions, memory associations. Sensory predictions. Your brain never truly shuts off. It filters reality constantly. And when that filtering system becomes overwhelmed, strange things happen. Tiny sounds suddenly feel enormous. Normal silence feels uncomfortable. Your awareness becomes hypersensitive. You start noticing buzzing, clicking, distant sounds, phantom vibrations, whispers that may not even exist. Nobody tells you this because most people don't understand how fragile the nervous system really is. Modern life is attacking your brain every single day. Constant notifications, loud environments, stressful jobs, financial pressure, lack of sleep, emotional burnout. Your nervous system stays trapped in survival mode, and survival mode changes perception. That's why some people suddenly become sensitive to sounds after periods of intense stress. Not because they're crazy, because their brain is overloaded. And overloaded brains behave differently. A man from Texas shared something online that shocked thousands of people. After months of working double shifts, he started hearing faint music at night. At first, he thought it came from outside. Then he checked the windows. Nothing. Then he checked the television. Still nothing. But every night, the music returned. Eventually, it became whispers, not clear words. Just fragments, muffled sounds, and he became terrified. He stopped sleeping normally. His anxiety exploded. He became obsessed with listening for sounds. And that made everything worse. Because now his brain was stuck in hypervigilance. Every tiny noise triggered panic. Later, after medical evaluations, doctors discovered something important: extreme stress, severe sleep deprivation, high anxiety, nervous system exhaustion. Here's the disturbing part. The brain under chronic stress can distort perception, especially when sleep collapses. And millions of Americans are currently functioning on exhausted brains without even realizing it. Nobody warns you what chronic stress actually does to the human brain. People think stress is just emotional. It's not. Stress changes chemistry. Stress changes hormones. Stress changes perception. When cortisol and adrenaline stay elevated too long, your nervous system becomes unstable. That instability affects focus, memory, emotional control, sleep quality, sensory processing, and sometimes hearing. Let me be very clear here. Hearing unusual sounds does not automatically mean severe mental illness. That's one of the biggest misconceptions online. Yes, serious psychiatric conditions exist, and yes, they deserve proper treatment. But temporary auditory distortions can also happen during panic attacks, burnout, isolation, trauma, grief, extreme exhaustion. Your brain is trying to make sense of chaos. And when the brain becomes overwhelmed, it sometimes fills silence with interpretation. That's terrifying to experience. But understanding the mechanism matters because fear without understanding creates even more panic. Here's how the brain actually works. Your brain is constantly predicting reality before reality fully arrives. That's how humans react quickly to danger. Your nervous system scans for threats every second. But under stress, the brain becomes overprotective. It starts searching for danger everywhere. That's why anxious people become hypersensitive to sounds, movement, facial expressions, tone of voice, environmental changes. The brain becomes stuck in detection mode. Now combine that with poor sleep. This is where things get dangerous. Sleep deprivation weakens the brain's ability to regulate perception properly. Studies have shown that prolonged lack of sleep can affect emotional stability, cognitive accuracy, sensory interpretation, auditory processing, and simple language. Your exhausted brain starts misfiring signals. And modern culture encourages exactly the behaviors that damage the nervous system. Endless scrolling, overstimulation, chronic stress, emotional suppression, overworking, sleeping 4 hours a night. People brag about destroying their brain health. Then panic when symptoms appear. Now stop for a second, because this next part matters more than you think. Not every symptom means catastrophe. Social media profits from fear. Fear spreads fast. Fear gets clicks. Fear keeps people watching. But reality is more complicated. The nervous system is incredibly adaptable. When people improve sleep, hydration, nutrition, emotional regulation, stress management, the brain often improves too. That doesn't mean ignore symptoms. It means stop assuming the worst immediately. Because panic itself can amplify symptoms dramatically. Think about that. The fear of hearing sounds can make you listen harder. Listening harder increases hyper-awareness. Hyper-awareness increases anxiety. And anxiety increases nervous system sensitivity. That cycle traps millions of people. Nobody talks about this enough. Your brain reacts to what you repeatedly focus on. And in the digital age, people are constantly feeding fear into their nervous systems. But now we need to talk about the part nobody wants to hear. Sometimes these symptoms are serious, and ignoring persistent symptoms completely is dangerous. For example, ongoing ringing may relate to tinnitus, sudden hearing changes may involve hearing damage, neurological symptoms may require medical attention, severe hallucinations absolutely need professional evaluation. This is why self-diagnosing through TikTok is a terrible idea. Let me be brutally honest. The internet is full of people pretending to be experts. Some people will tell you every symptom means brain damage. Others will tell you it's all anxiety. Both extremes are dangerous. Real health requires real evaluation. If symptoms are persistent, intense, frightening, or worsening, get professional help immediately, because early intervention matters. And ignoring warning signs never makes them disappear. So what can you actually do right now? Start with your nervous system, not supplements, not miracle hacks, not fake motivational quotes. Your nervous system needs recovery. First, fix your sleep. Seriously. Sleep is not optional maintenance, it's biological survival. Your brain repairs itself during sleep. Memory regulation, hormone balance, emotional processing, sensory stabilization. All of it depends on proper rest. Second, reduce overstimulation. That means less doom scrolling, less late-night screen exposure, less constant noise, less emotional chaos. Your brain was never designed for non-stop stimulation 24 hours a day. Third, manage stress honestly, not fake positive vibes, real stress management. Therapy, exercise, breathing regulation, time away from chaos. Because chronic stress physically changes brain function over time, and most people wait until breakdown before taking care of themselves. Here's the reality nobody wants to admit. Modern society rewards nervous system destruction. People celebrate burnout, overworking, emotional numbness, constant productivity, never resting, and then they wonder why anxiety disorders keep exploding across America. Your brain is not a robot. It's an organ. A living biological system affected by sleep, stress, trauma, environment, emotional pressure. And when that system becomes overloaded, symptoms appear. Sometimes the symptom is panic. sometimes depression, sometimes emotional collapse, and sometimes strange sounds. So here's the reframe you need. Experiencing occasional auditory distortions does not automatically mean you're broken forever. Sometimes it's evidence your nervous system has been under pressure for too long. That pressure can often improve, but only if you stop ignoring what your body is trying to tell you. So if you've been hearing sounds nobody else hears, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Pay attention. Your brain always sends signals before complete burnout happens. Watch your stress levels, sleep quality, emotional health, nervous system overload, because the earlier you respond, the better your chances of recovery. Let me be clear one last time. Fear alone will not solve this. Awareness will, education will, action will. And if this video helped you understand what might really be happening inside your brain, subscribe right now, because we talk about the health symptoms people are too afraid to discuss openly. And honestly, that conversation matters more than ever. Also, leave a comment below. Have you ever experienced ringing whispers, phantom sounds, strange nighttime noises? You'd be shocked how many people silently experience the same thing. And remember, if symptoms become severe, persistent, or disturbing, seek professional medical help immediately. Protect your nervous system, protect your brain, because once chronic burnout reaches a breaking point, recovery becomes much harder than prevention.